Hey guys, welcome back to the Newsarama Skybox here near Comic-Con. I'm Justin Tyler.
I'm Grace Randolph.
We're here talking to Reilly Brown, the man, the digital man.
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Great, doing great.
You're transitioning though to the page. You had some big announcement. You had a big announcement at the convention here.
Yeah, so we're doing, me and Jerry Dugan and Brian Posehn are doing a Deadpool Infinite comic, which is, that's awesome for me because like my first big Marvel work was a Deadpool project, and lately I've been doing a lot of digital stuff with Power Play and with some of the previous Marvel Infinite things. So to bring that all together, I'm pretty psyched about.
And the story is vampire focused. You got Dracula in there, sort of hiring Deadpool.
Yeah. Deadpool will work for
love
whoever's got money.
Right?
He doesn't ask questions.
Exactly, it makes sense. Merc,
Yeah.
half of it's his whole title. And so, obviously, Infinite Comics. You've worked in for them before.
Yes.
In that section, digital comics are your thing. You're the guy. In my mind, I always check in with you. What's the state of digital comics?
What is the state of digital comics?
I mean, well, this is the new thing. Like, it's bigger now than ever. Like, every year at this show, I do this show and at San Diego and whatever other convention I go to, I do a panel with Comixology about how to make comics for digital media and stuff. And every year, you can see it, like the crowd getting a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And like this year, it was practically full. So like people are starting to catch on. They're starting to realize that, like this is a reality now. You know, it's not the future anymore. Like this is actually happening.
When I was talking to Jerry yesterday, I likened it to fire. The first caveman was like, fire. And everyone was like, it seems pretty scary. And then you're like, no, warm.
Yeah.
Light at night. And everyone's
cooking,
like, oh,
and then restaurants, and then hopefully we'll all make a lot of money.
And then Mario Batali. So you see the progression there?
There you go.
You're the Mario Batali of digital comics. So how is
I think I'm more like the caveman of digital comics.
Well, you're growing. Put on some orange Crocs and you're going to be fine. So how, for those who people don't know, I mean, I feel like we do this all the time about motion comics and finding the line. Talk about that in the frame of the Deadpool comic you're working on.
Well, okay. The motion comics are like really, I feel like they cross the line between, they're not comics anymore, they're actually animation.
Yeah.
And to me the difference is a comic you read, and like animation you watch. So like if the phone rings and you have to put pause on your comic before you can answer the phone, then you're not reading it. It's got to be an active experience where it goes at your own pace. And that's, you know, part of the reason that I like to read comics so much is because I can just read them on the train or whatever. I can it's more casual, I guess, and I'm in control. I can like, it's like there's a piece of art that's awesome. I can just stare at it for 5 minutes and not have to like.
You can do that on paper too, though.
Well, yeah, okay, that's true. So so the difference with ours is that it works the same way as a paper comic, just on a digital medium. But we're able to do things like, you know, do fades, do panning and things like that, do reveals and digital techniques that you can't do in print.
Well, how do you feel going into a print now? I mean,
I've been doing print stuff for since I was in college, so that's not, so that's something I'm totally familiar with. But
you are working on a new comic with called St. George with Fred Van Lente.
Yes, Dark Horse. It's premiering in Dark Horse Presents next month, I believe, in the issue 30, 20, whatever, the November issue.
Awesome.
And it's the cover story, so you can't miss it.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
And what's the premise of St. George?
It's about St. George, the legendary dragon slayer. And, you know, me and Fred are both big history nerds, and, you know, like we did the Hercules stuff together. We love old legends and things like that, and especially that Mediterranean area. And so it's about St. George, who was a Roman knight who, you know, and there's all these legends about him through the years, and I was always fascinated by him because I love Renaissance artwork, and if you go to, like, you know, you look at Michelangelo or Donatello's work, there's always throw St. George in there, and so I was always like, this guy's kind of cool. Like, what's the story with him? And if you look him up, there's like tons of places throughout Europe and the Middle East where they say, this is the spot that St. George killed the dragon. No, this is the spot St. George killed the dragon. So my thought was, well, what if he killed a dragon in all those places, and all of a sudden you have this cool adventure through the ancient Roman Empire, and, you know, checking out all the cool things from there. And his life happened right at the crucial time, like between right before Christianity came on the rise. So like there really was like a game-changing thing happening in the world at the time. And
Do you explore that in the comic?
yeah, that's something we're gonna get
Ooh.
into. So
And what's the tone? Is it? I mean, you're working with Fred, so it's probably pretty fun, pretty light.
it's you know the type of thing we both like to do. It's kind of lighthearted adventure stuff, with a good amount of facts thrown in.
Yeah.
For
And some sweet action.
yeah,
some dragons
yeah,
thing.
and some
Religious
dragons.
discussion.
Yeah. It'll change your
What's
life, spiritually speaking. Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by and checking
Yeah.
in with us. It's always
My
great
pleasure.
to hear what you're doing. You guys stay tuned for a ton more from Comic.